And we are unmuted, Mr. Redford.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. This is our work session for the month of August. There's no flag salute, no roll call. I'd like to welcome our guest this evening. As he knows, this is our work session, and we'll be voting next Wednesday on items that were discussed at tonight's meeting. You have copies of the treasurer's report, the investment report, the general fund bills, food service list bills, retirements, resignations. With the resignation of Dawn Scurbett, sophomore class advisor, effective immediately, and Lori Heights, sophomore class advisor, effective immediately. Any questions on?
Is there anybody that's taking those over?
Well, once we get the resignations, we'll do the postings, and then we'll go from there.
Item B is substitute instructional list. Add the addition of Brenda Nogate. Any questions on that, on item B? Before I go any further, was there any administrative reports?
So there's nothing formal for administrative in August, but they're here to answer any questions you might have about anything you've seen or come across this last month.
Okay. You guys thought you got off easy. I skipped right back. It's probably the only one I see. I was down there when they were tearing the bleachers out. It looks like they're making pretty good progress on everything.
Bleachers are gone. The floor is sanded down. They got the first, the 3-point area stained, and they got 2 coats of sealant on. They want to let 2 to 3 days. They'll be back, I believe, tomorrow, and they're going to start laying the floor out. And then at this point, they said the bleachers could be a week early, so we might see them at the end of this month. At this point.
It's nice to try and coat the floor with the humid weather the way it is, but.
Well, they came in this past Saturday, and they got it, the first 2 coats down. So it's looking good. So what they do is they get the sealant down, and they paint on, and they seal it again.
Okay. Is there any other projects? I don't.
Elementary got painted. It looks very nice. We're doing some cleaning before we open it back up.
Okay. Okay. Any questions for Ed? Any other? Nothing? Okay, good.
Jeff, I had one question. How are we looking at like the numbers for bus drivers?
This year we're pretty well. People want to see. Good. Probably one sub. It's pretty good. Before me again, it's in their bus. Good. Sounds good.
Okay, I'll go back to item C, mentor teacher, Marianne Jenkins, okay.
She's LCCTC school nurse. Since we hired a school nurse, there's not another school nurse to mentor. So I asked Marianne, and she's going to take the phone calls anyway. So right. This is a way to get her a connection.
Okay. Any questions on item C? Item D, sophomore class advisors. Approve Jenna Burks and Amanda Long as sophomore class advisors for the 2023 school year. Rate of $450 each as per.
It's a hot supplemental.
I did not read that far anyway before I asked that question.
Item E, award tenure, recognize a satisfactory completion of 3 years of service in Pennsylvania Public School District to Amanda Long. Any questions on item E? Approve the attached confidential central office employees agreement. Any questions on that one? I don't know what letter that is, but
just to highlight.
Must be F. Okay.
Since we hired Cameron, we needed to make some updates to the agreement. So that's what that's about.
Okay.
The other one's also expired, June 23.
So we just, yeah.
Right. Any questions? Item G, professional development workshops. Approve the following professional development workshops. James Hoyland to the International Association of Chiefs of Police Annual Conference, Dallas, Texas. Dallas. Cost to the district is half the registration, $280, plus flight cost of $389.96, total of $669.96. Newcastle.
It should say PD, not SD.
Oh, okay. Newcastle.
Police department. It's okay.
Newcastle Police Department is responsible for the other half of registration, lodging, and Hoyland's wages. Any questions on she?
Yeah, just stated, James Hoyland did receive an award, Larry. What was that,
He's the SRO for the, Lawrence County Career and Technical Center. He was awarded the Pennsylvania SRO Award. So he was recognized as the #1 SRO for the 21-22 school year in the state of Pennsylvania. He's the best SRO I've worked with in 15 years of administration.
yeah, he does a good job here in TLC.
Good. Item H, additions to the volunteer and non-instructional substitute listing. I believe you have a copy of that. Board action items. A, approve the second reading and adoption of the attached policies, 218, 220, 227, and 237. Any questions on A?
Now, the administration is meeting next Monday again, once just to finalize a few things and get Mr. Mangino's eyes on there. So the admin will be prepared for any questions on any particulars that you might have.
That's on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. And
I'm sorry, the 200s are all student issues.
right. And item B is a first reading of the revisions of the 808 as required by Act 555.
Just real quick, there's just some mandates related to our school cafeteria and our participation in the federal program. So it doesn't change. Jen and I talked today. We're not changing practices, but it's more communication, notification. Let me give you a couple small examples. So, because we're going back to pay now. So if someone owes us money, they get a 30-day notice. The end of those 30 days, they can't go to any dance or any extracurricular until the family resolves the account. Another twist, though, is let's say Bobby graduates and there's $15 left on his account. Well, we have to have a policy that says that after we duly notify Bobby, he can either have the refund or make a donation. If Bobby's family doesn't respond, then it goes to the general fund. If we don't have that in place, Bobby's $15 goes to the federal government. So.
I did get an email. It was the Laurel School District about the lunches. Did that go to the whole community, or was that just?
Yeah, that went to every email in our domain and every parent, which would be, Laurel K-12 PUS, then any parental email on file, and we'll probably send it again when it gets closer to school.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm glad we sent it out just to get them aware of it.
Yeah. Watch Facebook for more details.
Oh, I can hardly wait.
I
got a mallet.
that one out today.
I was rowing and I got a mallet finger today.
Yeah. I just saw it a little bit ago.
It's on the website.
Item C, facilities use. Approve the use of the girls softball field by Hickory Township Spartan Park for a girls softball tournament.
That actually should say recognized because it already happened.
Item D, natural gas supply agreement. Approve the attached agreement for natural gas. I assume we'll probably have those figures whenever.
So, I actually wanted to chat a little bit about this. The current agreement that we have through United Energy expired the end of August. And it was facilitated by Eric Ryan Corporation in Elwood. And they contacted me early July and asked if we wanted them to go out for bid again. So, of course, they said yes. So, those prices are in the attachments that are on boardwalks. They're not good, as you could imagine. Our current agreement is 2.856 per decatherm. The lowest that this came in, if we signed for 3 years, is 4.33. It's not quite double, but it's pretty high. So I guess I just wanted to.
Is there any type of provision that should the market change within those 3 years? I don't have a crystal ball. Yeah, I don't. Well, for right now, like for example, I don't have a crystal ball, but we already have seen a significant reduction from nearly $5 a gallon gasoline. I'd like to throw out there for thought that perhaps we look and bite the bullet for a 1-year agreement and maybe look for a multi-year agreement thereafter. Bobby, Tim.
What is it for if we?
1 year, the cheapest is $4.80
As compared to?
for 3 years, $4.30 for.
It's definitely going to be more expensive this year as compared to the 3 year. So, could Eric Ryan, as some type of expert or whatnot, I don't know if they want to, is there anybody trying to make 6 months, 12 months projection on petroleum products?
So we get through the midterm elections and see
Right.
who takes over, it's we're either gonna keep suffering or hopefully get a little bit better.
So we're done in August, so we have to do something.
If we don't, so our current agreement expires when we pay the market rate. Which I don't know what that number is, so I inquired about that, yesterday.
So before next week's meeting, could we get a hold of Eric Ryan? Is there any type of expertise out there on a 6-month or 12-month projection? And what is the market rate? Do you, any other questions you
Who
want?
actually does natural gas? Yeah, is it Columbia or
We have people here.
the people?
So,
Okay.
and then, like, it's mission supply, I'm not really sure that I have the right piece of that.
Yeah, because that's going to go up too.
That's what we're bidding, that part.
Oh, okay.
So people they have what, the pipeline, so then whoever provides the gas, that goes into the
Okay.
supply. So we got bids from, IGS Energy, Bragg, Snyder Brothers, which is the lowest, and United Energy Trading and Direct Energy. And United Energy Trading is really out. And, their price is, the lowest is the Snyder Brothers. His email, talks a little bit about backwardation, which is where longer term futures are less expensive than near term, which is not normal because of an energy market. So, but for budget purposes, of course, they want to lock it in, but I'm kind of with you, you're thinking when it's, I don't know, it's trying to get this help on, I mean, the market rate, it fluctuates, so it's never gonna be, even for 6 months, so maybe, I'm not seeing it go down. No, I don't know, yeah, but I'll see if they can provide it to the report. But I kind of wanted to get a feel for what you guys thought about.
It might cost you a little more for the first year, but yeah, if it does go down, it might be worth it. Budget wise, did we anticipate discounting?
Yeah, I have
Okay. Right.
You mean you didn't budget 100% increase? Come on, Jen. Slacking.
We're not a huge we're not a huge natural gas consumer, so.
Right.
And just as an aside, Eric Ryan, of course, there is a fee involved with using 30 cents. Around, based on what we used last year, around $27. So, but that's, they did all bidding for us and all of that, so.
Right.
But I will see what if they can provide us with the information and try to even circulate that before we go.
well, maybe we'll mention that to the board to make sure they're thinking about that before next Wednesday. Any other questions? Item E, School Physician Services, approved agreement with Dr. Jane Kelly for the district and social and school physician services for the 22-23 school year for the amount of $5,000, same as last year. Any questions on item E? Item F, school dentist, approved agreement with Dr. Gary Snow to provide district with school dentist service for 22-23 school year, amount of $500 for the exam, same as prior years. Any questions on item F? Item G, bus routes.
They are right here. I apologize. I didn't learn more of this yesterday when I sent out the agenda. It's on there now and.
Any changes from last year that are big? That
No big changes. I've seen some roads around a little bit on some of them. I tried to drive a few routes and tried to, so I could cut some, but it just got too, can't do it the time that we have.
yeah.
I thought I cut a couple of them and I started driving them. I was out on 422, 45 minutes in. I think that's not enough time to get to the elementary. And one thing was just changing another thing, and it just, I put that in worry on right now. But I did cut a couple roads that I think everybody should be at the elementary at the right time. I'm hoping it's time. Because last year we had 2 or 3 buses that were always happening, but we can never get on 422. We don't know the traffic. We tied up 5 minutes out there. So hopefully we're all on time to the elementary.
Okay, good. Any questions Ed on the routes? No. Is there any new business? If there's no new business, I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, everybody.